Hello, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika Zen. I am Tamika. You are now in the Zen. What is going on? Thank y'all for joining us. Of course, it's time for us to get into Zatima. Let me go ahead and bring out my co-host, okay? Coming in the Zen from Texas, your favorite girl, okay? EJ, the TV junkie.
Hey, what's up,
What is
everybody?
going on, girl? Mm. This episode was deep, y'all. This episode was deep. I don't know because I was feeling kind of emotional that day. I remember that specifically, so I might have been extra emotional. But I was not expecting to be crying the way I was crying watching this daggone episode.
Yeah,
What was your first thoughts? What was your overall thoughts about this episode?
my overall thoughts were that it was definitely sad seeing what Zach had to endure and go through. Um, and then I don't know, it was that part was the saddest part to me. And then there were just a lot of things happening as far as Fatima still making the choice to choose herself and to allow Zach to be able to figure out what's going on, even though she knows that yeah, this is sad and it's messed up, but in her eyes it still doesn't absolve him of how he treated her. So I was feeling that,
Oh
because I know
Lord,
that
yeah,
some
I'm
people
sorry.
don't.
I turn all my stuff off.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? But because I know how it is sometimes, not every some people think that Zach should be absolved because of this, but I personally don't, and I know we'll get into it and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, this was a heavy one, y'all. It really was. I was like, okay, we jumping right into it straight from the jump. Soon as we, kicked off the episode, I thought the last one they, brung it with the acting, but honey, I was like, all right, let's get these Emmys out because they really was putting it in. Hey, Zaria, always
Hey,
the first
Taria.
one in the building. Thanks for coming through. What's up, Candy Love? I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot to even ask if you have wanted to come up to discuss this with us. I appreciate you for being here, Michelle.
Oh,
How's
wait a minute.
everybody feeling tonight? Yeah, so we literally picked up where we left off. Hey, thanks for coming through.
Hey,
Yes,
buddy.
please do hit the like button, y'all. We definitely appreciate it. So like I said, we literally picked up where we left off at, like with Tima coming into the doctor's office, chat.
It was a lot. Yes.
Yes. Hey, Monique, 69 ways. How you feeling tonight? So, EJ, what did you
Yeah.
think about this?
Yeah, so on this particular scene right here is where Zach, he wants Fatima to, come in. He asked him, this is now it answered our question from last week because we were like,
Right.
why is Dr. Reed calling? Like, that was so weird. But now we know it's because Zach
Mm-hmm.
asked him to do so because he knew that she wouldn't come if he asked. So that
Right.
makes sense now. And then,
Mm-hmm.
just the whole atmosphere of this room and, definitely Jeremiah looking like, like he needs to go get his next fix along with his mama. They both look like they just ready to
Mm-hmm.
go do some extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they just, you can tell that they're only there because Zach promised them something because I was like, how in the world did he get them to come there? And then we learned that it was because
Mm-hmm.
he agreed to give them money is the only reason why they're there. But Zach needed to get this off of his chest. And we just learned a lot of things come out, about the father not wanting him and the mom. She's just horrible. Like, she is literally a horrible human being. And then, of course, we already knew about the brother taking the fall for him, but we see that this is something that he truly is holding over Zach's head. Like, and Zach is like, but I did the same for you, but he was just younger. So, but and so it should be, a wash, but they something else, this duo right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something else definitely. Hey Sherry, thank you for joining us. What's up, Bobby Ray? Yeah, something else is definitely one of the things you could say about them. I mean, I think I said when we was up here last week that every time I think this lady can't say something worse than what she said the last time, she proves me wrong. Like we, of course, in season one have been learning more and more about how horrible these freaking people are and just some of the things that Zach had to endure. And like you said, the brother holding this over his head, but then we're finding out that they was putting Zach out there from when he was young to do certain things because they felt like, well, you're not gonna get arrested. You're still, you know what I'm saying, young or whatever. You wouldn't get penalized in the same way that I would get penalized. And then when he would get the money, they basically was out on him and was leaving him with no food, no nothing. I'm like, what the heck? What's up,
Crazy.
Brillo?
What up, Brillo? And that's crazy to me because you can clearly see the favoritism between how she treats the one son and the other son,
Mm-hmm.
even though they were clearly both doing dirt in order to help the family. But the way she treats Jeremiah, it's like they have this codependency upon each
Mm-hmm.
other. It's a very weird codependency, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. Yeah, so Fatima, even though she looked like she didn't want to stay and she was mad that she was even called in this situation, you could tell it was like a bunch of different emotions, surprise, caught off guard, or whatever. And then she does say that she's gonna stay. I don't know if I would have, to be honest. Um,
That would have been
but
hard.
yeah, but she does. And then this is kind of like an eye opener for her too, where I think she knew to a certain point or a certain degree, but then they really started going in like right off the back, being disrespectful to her. I know it took everything for her not to just flip out on them. Then you had Zach telling her like, don't talk to her like that. You don't get to call her out her name and all of that. And she just started telling him like, oh, she don't want you. Why would somebody like you, like her, want you? Nobody ever wanted you. And I think the doctor had asked, like, when was the first time that Zach ever heard her say that? And she said it. He said it was around when he was like 7 years old. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like this was so crazy. It's like so much layers to this.
It is. It really is. I mean, it just is. At the end of the day, um, I think we got a really good insight as to why Zach feels this sense of people are going to abandon
Mm-hmm.
him, and it feels like he tries to abandon them first before they
Mm-hmm.
can abandon him. Not absolving him of anything because I got some things to say about him later, but
Right.
at the end of the day, it does give you some insight, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see why he thinks this or why he feels this. And it was nice to see
Right.
him acknowledge that very thing. But I was a little bit concerned that Zach didn't seem to be doing this for himself. It felt like he was doing it to save his relationship. And therein lies the problem. When is Zach going to step back and do this for him and not to save the relationship, because the relationship is gone until she's ready to come back, and he has to give her that
Mm-hmm.
space, you know. But it starts
Absolutely.
with him healing first, and that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm. That is absolutely true. Sherry says that family displayed the four basic kinds of dysfunction found in families: family conflict and violence, family drug addiction, family poverty, and family disruption, and for family uh instability. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree, EJ, just to kind of piggyback off of what you was just saying, that bothered me. Like, yes, I get it that you made a mistake now, and I guess you kind of had that aha moment where you realize where so much of your dysfunction comes from and what makes you kind of self-destruct and do things, to, like you said, get away from the person or hurt the person before you can hurt him, because it's been an ongoing cycle. So I get that part of it, but it definitely felt like almost guilt tripping, like putting it on her weight, on her shoulders, that she has to take him back or she has to forgive him because he's not going to be able to do this for her, and he needs her to be here for him to do this, and he's doing this because of her. And it really is supposed to be about, I'm doing this for me.
Exactly.
um
No, I
because I
agree
know that
100%.
I need to, and I know that I need to put in the work and things of that nature. So when he said that part, um, yeah, I kind of agree, and I appreciate the fact. I mean, she made the choice, and I know it was because she kind of, felt bad. It was probably like a half and half. Like part of her wanted to walk back out the door, and part of her was like, "All right, I'm gonna sit down and do this part," just because she does still care. But
Yeah,
I agree that I don't think she should have been there, especially for this first session. And it probably should not have been done in this way. But like he said, had he been the one to call her, she probably wouldn't have answered him, or she would have just said no. So that's why we're gonna have the doctor call her. But to me, that was all kind of still a part of like a manipulation, and like making her feel kind of guilty, like she owes something, and when on all actuality she really don't. So I can kind of see it, from both ways. But she did make the choice to stay, and I felt like when she was sitting there listening, a lot of stuff made a lot more sense to her as well, where it was like, my God, what the heck? These freaking people, are crazy. And it was interesting to me, even when his mom turned around and said to the doctor, "Oh, now you going to sit there and judge me?" And I mean, she just was going low, telling him his father never wanted him. Nobody ever wanted him. Nobody ever liked him. Nobody ever loved him. And I think she told him, no matter of fact, I confused it. The statement that she had been saying to him since he was a kid was that she gave birth to him, and once she did that part, that was her only
that was
job to do. He basically was going to be on his own from that point on, and I was just like, what the hell?
that. And
Oh
although
my
I do
goodness.
agree that he was, although I do agree that he had a difficult childhood and that was a lot to deal
Mm-hmm.
with, and the fact that he's still standing, that's amazing. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, it also bothered me that he kept saying, "You're the reason why I'm like
Mm-hmm.
this. You're the reason why I'm like this."
Mm-hmm.
That didn't feel like Zach holding himself accountable. And maybe I missed something
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't watch it a couple of times like I typically do. But
Yeah,
I
I didn't
remember
either.
hearing him say, I, you know what I'm saying? Although I went
Yeah.
through this, I made a choice to do these, you know what I'm saying? Because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody who goes through things always displays this type of behavior necessarily, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I don't know. I
Yeah,
just,
everybody reacts to things differently. And I kind of, honestly, as somebody that has taken therapy off and on through the years, I kind of wanted more from the doctor with everything that was being said. Yeah, he was saying little things here and there, but I felt like he was supposed to interject in some of those parts and correct Zach and be like, well, actually, that, yes, you went through this, that, and the third, and how did it make you feel and things of that nature. But also, we have to be accountable for ourselves. What part did you play in this and things of that nature? But I guess they wasn't gonna get that deep into it. I didn't really feel like we saw that from the doctor.
yeah,
But also, well, you kind of brought this up because I find the older brother and mom relationship kind of interesting because, like you said, they both look like they definitely spaced the heck out and depended on stuff. I don't think I saw it as much in the first season with the brother as we see in it now. And then
exactly.
I kind of feel like that's the way she trains him up, so he's already kind of used to. I feel like it. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's an abuse that goes back and forth between the older brother and her as well, but it's
Mm.
different than what is with Zach. I don't know if I'm the only one that's reading that.
No, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just weird all around. Yeah, I mean, not weird because it is some people that actually experience things like this, but
yeah,
it's horrible. It's
it
sad. And the fact that we know like her trauma and her experience probably from being a kid or whatever relationships had to be off the hook for her to turn out to be a mother like this that could
exactly.
even sit there and talk like that.
Yeah,
um so at one point they were like grabbing for the money. They was like, where's the money at? Okay, we ready to get up out of here. We came here and heard your foolishness, and now we want to go. And he was trying to give the money to the doctor to hold, but he was like, no, I can't do that. I don't
yeah.
know, EJ, just any other.
it just kind of defeated the purpose. Like, I get where the doctor was coming from there. I get why Zach did what he did too. He needed them to
Mm-hmm.
be there so he could do that first step. And like Fatima said, that was a step that it took her a while to get to. So she
Mm-hmm.
applauded him for that, and she was like, cool, that she was glad that he did that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the part that stood out for me the most, and I think the part that I liked about this the most, and that I was hoping would happen, was Fatima didn't fold. Like, she didn't
Mm-hmm.
fold because of everything that happened. She still stood on it, and she still chose herself. I'm just so big about people choosing themselves instead of toxic shit sometimes, because
Yeah.
it's so easy to be like, oh, he went through this, that, and the third, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have to be there for him. He needs me. No, he needs to take care of this by himself. This is
Yeah.
something that he has to go through
Yeah.
no matter what. He got to do it.
Yeah, I remember even last week when we were talking and saying what our hopes were going forward. It was like for her to choose herself, for him to really focus on getting his therapy, taking it seriously, and wanting to see him do more than one therapy session before they got together. I know that was some of the things we said that we wanted to see. So I was like, okay, are we going to see that? And I get that this is a show and there's only but so much episodes and we putting
Yeah.
out 2 episodes at a time, but I was like, because even just like you said, with him coming here and bringing his family, even though he had to pay them to be there, which was just bonkers. Like the doctor said, and like Fatima said, most people have to go through years and years and years before they could get to that step and before they could especially confront a parent. And she even mentions, which I'm glad they started bringing up more of the fact that she did get some type of therapy. I think she mentioned before it was in her 20s. Then she told Zach it took her a long time before she could bring her parents in and work through issues. So they were saying that he was actually going at it a lot faster rate than most people do. And
Yeah.
I get that part, but it still was like, okay, but it's still a lot more work and a lot more acknowledgement that we need to be having. I'm sorry, did I skip past? Okay, no. So at that point they left, and that's when him and Fatima had the conversation by themselves, and then that's when she say, listen, I can't do this. And then him and the doc have a conversation by themselves. So now when she gets to the job, who just so happens to be there with their little hanky. Okay.
She's like, is
Wait,
it cool?
while she cried.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness, that was so
God.
crazy. I don't know why. I just hate this for Paul, but I do like it for Fatima. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes people need somebody to lean on, especially with all that's going on with Zach. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want her going, trying to run back to Zach. This is not the time for her to run back to Zach. But maybe having Paul there as someone to lean on and to talk to, and someone who will listen, and someone who will be understanding and patient, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that is what she needs, and I'm here for it. And as long as Paul understands and he knows that that's what his position and his role is, which I think that he does, I think this could be good for them. But I did like this moment. I just like that he listened. Some people would be so intimidated and jealous by somebody by another man having an effect on somebody that they're trying to court. But he just so chill with it, and I think I like that about him. Right now, he ain't showed me nothing different, so that's where I'm at with it. Hey, Renee.
I like it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, really, we still trying to set up a date in the midst of all of this. And I was kind of, because I get it. Listen, I've actually been there before, okay? Where I have definitely been a savior to the person I cared about, okay? As well as family and friends, child. And it took me a long time to realize I'm not a daggone savior, okay, for you. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But I can kind of get that part when it comes to her and Zach. And then it's like I was mentioning when we talked about it last week, the whole you not fully out the door with this situation, but then you spending time with another situation to kind of get over that situation. Sometimes that's not the best thing for you either. And being as though that was such a heavy type of thing she just dealt with, I kind of expected her to be like, nah, not tonight, maybe another night. But she still was like, well, she did say I may not do that much talking. And then he was like, well, I could do all the talking or I could just listen whatever way he said it. And she still agreed to it. And I was kind of surprised, like, girl, you sure you want to go out? You like, how much of good company are you going to be? Are you really going to be able to focus on him after going through a heavy situation like that? So I thought it was interesting that she still chose to go. This, to me, the whole Bryce and Angela, I just feel like they was just saying, okay, every so often we gonna throw in some random stuff.
Yeah,
What did you?
I just want them to let this storyline go. Seriously, I'm so over the Bryce and Angela thing. The fact that she even fixed her lips, and I think that's later. Yeah, I think that's later. But I've been over this. It was just funny. She's giving him his things back. I'm like, girl, you should have been and gave him this stuff back. Like, but I keep forgetting that we are in a time frame of a very short time frame. So I got to think about it like that. So he's getting his things or whatnot, but yet he's still trying to explain and justify, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But I do get that he's saying, like, this is my lifestyle or whatnot, but I do like that she's trying to push him to talk to Zach. But at the same time, I don't know. I was so confused by that because sometimes I don't feel like Bryce is a good friend. I don't feel like he tells Zach the things that he needs to hear. I feel like he tries to, but he's so on eggshells right now. He might not be the right person because he can't fully talk to him like a friend because they got this cloud over them. It's so
Yeah, I never understood why they, listen, I don't like to critique people writing or, things that they want to do with the show. But it was always weird to me that they took this friendship into the direction that they did. And now that they did, it's like it's awkward. So, him and Zach, they trying to be able to at least work around each other and do whatever they got to do. He's apologized to Angela. He's apologized to Zach. I agree with you. I don't know. This conversation just felt out of place to me. It felt weird. It felt kind of just forced in. And then you come in to give him this little box with a little bit of trinkets. And I was like, man, you could have left that outside or something. I don't know, mailed it to him, whatever. But, and then it was so weird because one minute you like, oh, I don't want to talk about nothing. We're done, da da da. But then you're telling him, oh, well, I really think you should try to talk to Zach and be there for him because he's going through a lot now. And I don't know.
it was
Can't.
crazy. It was just like,
Yeah.
Y'all could have left that where it was.
Yeah, they really could have.
Up and go. Like,
yeah. And then of course, Fatima came in, and then her and Fatima have a little chat. And I thought that was a funny conversation too, because she went from, oh, I saw Zach at the doctor's office, and oh my goodness, it was something. So yeah, well, let me go, get ready because I got a date with Paul today.
Okay.
In like 2 seconds. Oh God. Yeah, she is torn on him, and I don't know. Angela sometimes be a little slow for me. I don't know. I just want her to like pick whatever is going.
Exactly. If you say that's not what you want, then just let it not be what you want. Like, it ain't no confusion. It's way more men out there. It's way more fish out in the sea. If that's not what you want to deal with, then that's just not what you want to deal with. It's not saying anything negative or bad.
Yeah, because the thing was, at one point, I kind of thought all of this was resolved, and I thought it was like, yeah, nah, I can't be with you in that way. But I thought they did have some kind of agreement to be friends. But then it was like with this conversation, she just was kind of saying like, no, we can't be friends. We can't be nothing. We never going to be bothered with each other again, which is her right if that's what she want to do. But I just really didn't understand why it was being even brought back up again and why she was, now saying like, oh no, I don't want to be your friend. But by the way, you should talk to Zach. And I don't know. It was a little off for me. But yeah, what did you think about this with Miss Deja?
Oh Lord, Deja. I be having mixed feelings about Deja. I be having to separate her from Jazzy at this point. But Deja she a mess. But I like Nate in this moment. This is the only time I'm probably gonna ever say that I like Nate, y'all. Probably the one and only time, unless he do something else later that I can like him then. But for this one moment, he did a solid when he convinced her to not pursue the lawsuit, and he, made some good points, and he told her why she shouldn't do this. So I thought that that was a solid, and I felt like that was him trying to make some sort of amends in a way, you know what I'm saying, in his own way. Still don't like him though.
Yeah, I did like, I gave him credit. I said, listen, 2.5 seconds, Nate came through. He was like, what are you talking about with doing a daggone, lawsuit? Like, you bugging. You can't do that. Why would you even think you would win? You better let that go. So I did appreciate him doing that. But then, of course, he still was trying to get up in her house and telling, Zach that he's there for him. But then when he came in, at this point, Zach, of course, is over it. He's pissed. He's saying what a lot of us have been saying. Like, you always been negative for whatever reason. You don't like Fatima. You wanted us to be broken up anyway, and all of that kind of stuff. How did you feel, like, as far as the conversation that him and Zach had?
I agree with what
yeah, he definitely did owe him that.
Yeah, he did. I agree with what Shari had said earlier. She mentioned that Zach finally kind of stood up for Fatima in this moment, with Nate and with his mom. In this moment, that was well overdue. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a conversation you should have been had with Nate, and you should have been put your foot down when it came to him always being so disrespectful instead of so jokingly about it. You should have actually put your foot down and been real about it and let him know that you're serious. Your friends know when your mode switches, when you are go from ha ha key to listen, this is, you done crossed the line. Like, they know that, and he knew that, and Zach should have been done that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
What Fatima did with Belinda, exactly, because she definitely set those boundaries a long time ago, and she stuck to them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that showed improvement. Now, this part made me laugh too. I said, Fatima, girl, what are you doing? She came down in her red dress, okay, ready to go out on this date. Sitting here talking, and the bell ring, and she like, no, let me get it, so you can, he could get the whole view. And of course, it ain't Paul at the door. What you thought about this?
I knew Zach was gonna pop up over there, and that was my other problem with Zach, was that you're not giving her space. Like, you're so busy trying to fix this relationship, but you're not fixed yet, bruh. Like, let it go until you are ready and can be the person that she needs you to be. But Zach thinks with his other brain so much. Like, it is so ridiculous to me how much he thinks with that little thing between his legs. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's so crazy. And I'm like, dude, because in my mind, all I ever see from Zach is first of all, I don't know if I'm the only one who think this way, but he equates love with sex. You know what I'm saying? And you've heard him say it a couple of times, and I think Fatima even mentions it at some point. I can't remember when it was, but at the end of the day, she asked for space, and you need to give her that space. You need to give her that time, and you can't keep trying to force it. Like, that would push me away even further. I'd be like, damn, I asked you.
Yeah, he definitely was giving me New Jack City vibes.
So much.
Yeah, I agree. Zach pops up like Aaron or sisters. He sure do. He really was doing just that. Like Aaron and Gary, he was giving me their vibes. Lord, never thought I would say that, but it made me laugh when she pulled herself ducking under the table. Like, seriously, Fatima, he see you, he know you there. I felt like, even though I do feel like he shouldn't have been there, he's doing too much, he's forcing it. It's like, give her some space, give her time to, calm down. But no, we ain't doing that. But I felt like he was coming over there to mainly, get it out that, well, even though he did tell her that in the therapy session too, I believe, but, even though she's not going to believe him, to let him know that he never slept with Connie. But at the end of the day, Zach is this, I don't know. He's just been on extreme mode. You were on extreme mode when you got into the argument with her and you put that out in the air in the first place when you
He
didn't
did.
have to because you
He did.
argued with her and started this whole big thing from the get-go instead of waiting until when you was calmed down then. And now you're in extreme mode to try to fix the problem. So it's like either way, you doing a lot with both situations where sometimes you just gotta give people their space, their time. You need time to think about everything that you talked about in the therapy session today. Like, you know what I mean? Go home, take a nice hot bath, have yourself a drink, think about everything that you let out in the open, everything you said to your mom and them, everything you said to her. No, that's not what we gonna do. We gonna come, we gonna still force the conversation, ask her where she's going out to. Then he tells her, listen, I did not sleep with her. And Fatima says, well, too bad because I done gave it up, honey, and I'm going to give it
Found
up.
that so funny. I found that so funny. I'm like, gosh, you just don't strike me as the type to play games. But
Mm-hmm.
because I've always felt like she was just so point blank, period, and she just didn't play games. And I'm like, why you even play a game like this? Like that don't even like I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was necessary in this moment. I understand that you're trying to make him hurt, but to be fair, we see that he hurt when he see you with dude. He hurt that he can't get close to you. Like he hurt. So I just didn't think that part was necessary for her to say that, but it is what it felt out of character, just in my opinion, from what I've seen of her these last few seasons. She hasn't struck me as the type who needed to make up things in order to get a point across, because she's always been so confident in who she is, and what she can bring to the table, that she didn't need to lie about, about that. So, there was that, but I get it. I
Yeah, I get it too. I was like, really, Fatima? That's what we gonna say? I did chuckle though, and I don't know whether he believed or didn't believe. He was like, really? She's like, yep.
he probably didn't believe it.
and then and then he of course, well, this part, I don't know, I hate to nitpick y'all, but it was a couple inconsistencies and things that just seemed like they was jumping around in certain parts. But I thought when Angela said to him, like, okay, because she did say she was gonna step out, let them talk, go check the mailbox, and when she came back in, I'm assuming it was Paul that was out there, and she was like, your rod is here. So then Fatima leaves, and she told Zach, well, you could go ahead, we could have a drink, some wine, beer, whatever. But the minute that Fatima walked out the door, she kind of turned to him and was like, all right, well, you could get out of here now. Well, I thought I had that screenshot. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
I guess
When
not.
I was looking at
But
that part,
nonetheless, I was confused. I said, wait a minute. They didn't ride off that fast because Fatima had just walked out the door. And I was like, I thought she was telling him to kind of sit there for a minute. That way, you know what I mean? Fatima gets to get in the car, leave with Paul or
exactly.
whatever, and have that time. But it was so funny to me that as soon as she walked out, she was kind of like, all right, you can leave. But then he did want to sit and have a conversation with her anyway. So she's like, or you can stay.
Yeah,
And
I
they
think
kind
that's why
of
she was doing it. I think she was trying to give Fatima time to go, and that's why she lied and said it was a ride
mm-hmm,
share when it was really Paul.
mm-hmm.
And because I was like, why? Because I was like, ride share, and I was like, oh, I think
Uh-huh.
Angela can't lie, no way. And then I was like,
Right.
what's she doing? That then I was like, okay, that would make sense. Now we could all be
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but that would be the justification in it if it was like
Right.
that would be the
Right.
one that makes sense.
Yeah, so at that point he just kept saying that I don't know, child. Sometimes these screenshots be like when you put socks in the washing machine and you lose them, all of a sudden they disappear, because I know I had that. But yeah, that's when he just was telling her, like, he not gonna let her go. That's his woman. He still was gonna fight for her, because she was kind of like, you gotta let her go. One thing about Fatima, when she got her mind made up, that's it. And he was like, no, I don't accept that. And then she threw Bryce in the conversation with him again out of nowhere. And it was like, where the hell that came from?
Shit,
Even
even Zach
he said,
asked, like, shit,
even
what?
he was like, why am I hearing about Bryce when we talking about Fatima? Hey, Inga.
Hey, Inga. Exactly. That
Yeah,
was
that
crazy
was
to me
kind of
too. I was
weird.
like, she tried to clean it up like it was a reasoning behind it, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, that was just such a whack moment. And then I think this is when she says that if he can give him a second chance, she
Mm-hmm.
can. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck to do with anything? Like, we don't care if you give him a second chance or not.
Like,
That just was so random. It was
that was so
so
awkward.
random. Yeah, it is definitely similar to Calvin and Sabrina. You bringing up all the comparisons. So at this point, of course, this is when the second episode starts. They went out on a date. I got a little confused with this part too. I guess they had already ate dinner, but I thought they was just they. I thought they had just sat down to dinner, and she was saying he was in the bathroom so she could talk for a minute. And of course, she wanted to give her the update that Zach had just left. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, she also gets the idea to call Bryce. So I don't know. You want to break this down? Talk about this. Talk about the conversation when Paul gets back to the table, or the conversation that Angela and Bryce have. Wherever you want to go.
Well, the conversation that Angela and Bryce had was just weird. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, I didn't think it was necessary. You remember she was telling him like, "Hey, just meet me at the thing." He's like, "We're not gonna be able to hear in there.
Mhm.
Let me just come back." I'm like, "Bro, what are you trying to get back to her place for? Like, just meet her at the thing."
Right.
But then they get back over here, and I don't know. It's just everything about the dialogue is off to me. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't
Yeah,
understand why.
I don't either. I was so confused with that. And then the whole thing was supposed to be, do you want to come with me to the open mic
The
or
open mic,
whatever? But
yeah,
then when he gets there and he's like, "Oh, can I come with you?" "Oh no, I don't think that's
no,
a good idea. Let's not rush it." It's like, huh? You just finished inviting.
I don't understand
It's like you
Angela.
just finished inviting him. So what the heck are we even talking about here?
I think so too, Monique. I thought that's what was about to happen this
Mm-hmm.
time. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna throw something at the TV.
Yeah. I was definitely feeling that way too. But like I said, I'm assuming that Paul and Fatima already ate, okay, because they didn't sit there for that much longer before he gets back and he's just saying, no, matter of fact, she started saying to him, "Oh, all the ladies are watching you," and he's like, "I didn't even know this." I was like, okay. But but they say they was gonna still head over to the open mic, and she did find out from Angela that Belinda was gonna be there because she had asked if she could find out, and it was kind of like, well, if Belinda's gonna be there, then I'm not gonna go there. There's other places I could go. But then we decide that we still gonna go there anyway, because I guess we said, we're not gonna let Belinda run us off.
Yeah, which
Whatever,
is
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Belinda, but
So now we was leaving to go there, right?
yeah, we headed to the club.
And okay,
And
so Zach goes to see Connie in between before they get there. So we want to talk about that scene.
oh my goodness, this was so crazy. I was like, Zach, what are we doing? Like, you literally just left Fatima's and you're going to the source of the problem. But okay, so we're going to the source of the problem. So okay, then I was like, okay, I know you're not gonna actually bring her back to tell Fatima that y'all didn't sleep together. I said, this is a bad idea. I know that is not what you finna do, but that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what he want to do. And I'm like, dude, she's
Mm-hmm.
still trying to get at you. This is not gonna go well. Like, don't do it. You know how you just like in slow mo, don't do it, Zach. Like,
Yes,
no.
yes,
And but he do it
yes.
anyway. It's
That's
crazy.
the first thing I was thinking too. He goes and he's talking to her, and I'm like, she's talking about, okay, I'm gonna go get changed. He's saying, come with me. I said, please don't tell me you about to do what I think you about to do, like, please don't.
That was
So,
crazy.
what did you think about Belinda with her annoyances? So, y'all know I don't like her. I'm sorry, I didn't like her from the very beginning.
Yeah,
She's
Belinda is
trying to come
trash.
over and be nosy and make conversation. What did you think about that?
Belinda is trash, and she could go. She could go any day.
She
But yeah,
is. She
just
is. Ain't
nosy,
nothing
just
about
always want to
her.
be involved. I think that
Hmm.
she's upset that I mean, maybe not even upset, but just because I don't think that she cares about their friendship that much, to be honest. She keeps taking these moments to try to apologize. I do get that. So maybe
Hmm.
on a surface level, maybe, but at the same time, I feel like she just wants to be in the loop. I feel like she misses being in the loop, misses the knowing things, not necessarily the friendship part of it, because it doesn't feel like she was ever a friend to her. Maybe vice versa, but it doesn't feel like she was a friend. So I just wish
Yeah,
they let her
she
go.
wasn't a friend in my opinion. And the thing about it, even if you were given a genuine apology and you really were sorry, it's almost the same thing like what I was saying about Zach earlier. Because yeah, you can ask somebody to forgive you. It's up to them whether they actually do or not. And when you ask somebody for forgiveness, or even when you forgive somebody, it's not necessarily supposed to be about them and what they do. It's supposed to be for you and yourself. So it's not, doesn't feel sincere at all. She's sitting there telling Paul all about it. Like if I'm out on a date and me and you don't even rock like that, what makes you think that I want you to go into the details of whatever the heck you did while I'm out on a date? When then it's like, oh, this is the new Zach. She was just like, within the
She's
5 minutes she was
innocent.
there, she,
But I liked how Paul handled it. I like how
yes, I
Paul
did
put
like how
her,
he handled that. Yeah.
in her place very politely. It wasn't mean. It
Hmm.
wasn't rude or anything like that. I don't know, but I'm telling you, Paul has been a class act through all of this. Paul did some things where I would have been like, ain't no way in the world I've been like everybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? But Paul
Hmm.
just sat back and just, it
I
has been
did
really
like the way he handled that particular part where he was just like, "Listen, that means that you did the wrong thing. You was out of pocket. That sounded like a lot." And she like, "Yeah, that's why I'm apologizing." And then he even was like, "Well, this is inappropriate. This is not the place for this. We out on a date. But yeah, no." Then it was funny because she was like, at this point, they was like, "Oh well, you're gonna mess it up for us, or you're messing up our night," and that's when she, of course, says, "Oh no, I won't be the one to mess it up with you."
Mhm.
And they like, "Well, what's gonna mess it up?"
And there goes Zachary coming in to try to. And this was so, oh my gosh, this was so inappropriate. Like, I was so mad at Zach about this because I'm like, why do you keep doing this? Like, why?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And once again, he kept trying to go to sex. That is
Mhm.
not what makes or like that is not what makes or breaks it. That is not what y'all
Mhm.
issue is right now. Y'all have no problem in the bedroom per se. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, but yet
Your
he kept
candy.
making that a thing. Like when he's telling her,
Mhm.
trying to win her back. I'm like, dude, like, I mean, you could have came with some other stuff besides about making you feel. I don't know. I can't remember all the words. I just know
Mhm.
that every time he always
I'll
tries to
kiss
be
you
funny.
from your thigh, from your knee to your thigh. Rub my
Yeah, and I'm like, why does you act like this man can't do the same thing? Like
But it's not
literally,
gonna be like him because he feels her. Jay, he feels.
okay. Like Zach, come on, you just doing the most.
Oh god, yeah, this was too much. This was too much. It's like too much has happened. I did not like this part, and as much like I said, I don't want to. I don't want to sound like I'm like tearing up, people things because some of these things are real life things, but we
Yeah,
just getting them like over dramatized. But I
yeah.
just feel like there was something with Zach and Fatima that made us fall in love with them. Now you putting all different type of crazy stuff in between them to me that's like super, super extra that nobody is staying around for all of these damn things. I'm sorry, okay? I'm gonna need it to be one thing or the other. Like there's enough real life things that people deal with in a relationship. We got all this
Mhm.
extra stuff. And then now you want me to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's all right. It's, never mind that all of this stuff that happened. We don't need to work through none of it. I don't need to process none of it. I'm just supposed to forgive you. I'm just supposed to jump right back into you with it, and everything's supposed to be okay. Like, It's too much. It's too
Yeah,
much. And trust me, I have been a very forgiving person. I have been a person, like I said, that have played that savior role. But no, and mind you, this is not even supposed to be that long that they have been talking. It's not even like this is some years in. This is straight out the gate. Girl, I would be running. I'm sorry, Zach. I love you, but I would be running the opposite direction. As soon as
okay.
he would have came in there, I'd have been like, okay, time to go. You know how that guy packed up his
In color
stuff
purple.
in the color purple?
Time
Yeah.
to go.
Time to go. Okay.
Okay, exactly. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who think that Zach, the character, is like this great character. I mean, you see it all the time, and that's fine. Zach is,
Mm-hmm.
I like the character Zach, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
I
But
do
if we're
too.
just talking about in as it relates to man, woman, and the things that
Mm-hmm.
Zach does, Zach is never, he doesn't hold himself accountable for anything. And then he does these stupid things like this,
Mm-hmm.
bringing the person that you told your
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend at the time, your living girlfriend, that you slept with her, and oh, and I did it real hard, and you did it
Right.
and you know how she is, and you know who she is. You're gonna bring her there to plead your case, but then you're gonna try to plead your case yourself in front of this man, and the other people, just people in general, talking about all these things about Don said he was custom fit, like all this extra stuff, and I'm
Right.
just this is just highly inappropriate, and you just acting like the biggest fuck boy right now, because for one thing, you not giving her space, you not giving her time to deal with this, and you're not even trying to fix the freaking issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
fix what's really wrong, and you're so busy trying to get back in the sack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
Yeah.
all I see when I
Yeah.
when I see him talk like that. Like, I don't hear anything emotional from the heart, like
Right.
any type of connection of feeling. I just hear
Mm-hmm.
sex. That's it. And
And
and that's
side
not
note, I know that Jack is in therapy and we starting to get down to things. I kind of felt like when this first was being brought up was this brought up in the first half of season two? I felt
Mhm.
like it was with the whole he wants the sex too much and all that. I feel like there's a sex addiction there too with Zach that probably needs to be
You might
addressed.
be
And
right.
that, to me, that explains a lot of the other things that we would see and hear about him and sisters, even though I'll be trying not to compare the two y'all, but it just does make a lot of sense to me when you hear about the behavior, if that's another part of the issue that he have too. But I want to read a few of these comments. Dawn says, right, and when you forgive somebody, that doesn't mean the way you are restored to when your relationship was before. Exactly. It definitely doesn't. Candy
Exactly.
Love says, you dress like Nino Brown. Yes, he definitely is giving Nino Brown all the way. Um, Zach literally seduced Fatima in front of Paul. I'm telling you, he didn't give a damn that Paul was sitting there. Paul was looking so out of place. I said, this is the most awkward
That was so awkward.
conversation I haven't seen in my life.
And the crazy part
Everything is
about it
so
is that
crazy
I
on
felt
their
like if
relationship.
Paul had said something, he
Mm-hmm.
would Fatima would have took up for him, and she would have took up for
Mm-hmm.
Zach and not Paul. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how
Right,
I
right,
felt she
right.
would have
Yeah,
done.
I agree. I agree. Sherry, I like Paul, but knowing Mr. Perry, how Mr. Perry writes, I'm expecting. Oh yeah, character change. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, child. If we get some other shocking whatever. Zach and said, oh yeah, because he's custom fit. Yeah. I was like, where did they come up with these lines at? Couples that have been together for 5+ years haven't gone through the mess that Zach and Fatima. Yes, in 4 months. That's what I'm saying. It's like
That's
at
it.
least if you had some years in, I could see it. But
That's it.
it haven't even been that long, girl. It haven't been that long. This is like new. And we done moved in, got engaged, gave the ring back, had the ex couple child. Listen, had baby mama showing up, had Deja with her crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, she should run. Do not pass go.
Yeah.
Do not collect $200. Just run.
Um, he seduced Fatima. Oh yeah, okay, I read that one. Yeah, so I'm just saying I gotta be honest, okay? As much as I do like Fatima and Zach. I like them, individually, and I fell in love with them as a couple. But the more these things happen, the more I'm like, okay, I
This
don't
was
know.
like his name, Young Duda.
Um, let's see. It's been a year for them, but it's a lot they doing. I don't even think it's been a year yet, because Tyler Perry timeline be different than other people's timelines, child. Okay, a whole season be like 3 days.
3 days. I was gonna say it'd be like 3 days because
Yeah,
Lord.
I'm just saying. So I don't know, yeah.
Yes, Don. Way too many flags
It's
on
a
the
lot of
ground.
red flags. So at this point, of course, we get back to the bar. Tony and Nate is there, and this is when we get down to business with Miss Belinda. What did you think about this? Because we all knew it, but we got the confirmation.
Yeah, I was like, and then Nate trying to put two and two together. I said, Nate, turn the lights on. Just turn them on. Go ahead. It's okay. Like ding ding. And then when he finally puts it together, I'm like, okay. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
we all kind of, thought that this is exactly what
Mm-hmm.
it was. But yes, they go ahead and kind of confirm everything to a certain extent. She's still
Yes.
denying it, but nobody believes her. So,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. And just goes further to show that you're not a friend, because even if I'm beefing with my friend and I'm upset with my friend, I'm still not going to do anything to hurt my friend.
Facts.
Regardless, even if we fall out and it's a bad fallout, I'm still not going to take the time to do anything like any retaliation towards them. And that's just because I respect friendships, and I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
even if we are no longer going to be in a space where we're friends anymore, that doesn't take away the love that I've had for you or the care that I've had for you.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I do something that's going to hurt you? Like, that's just not the type of friend I am, and that's not the type of friends I want around me.
Yeah,
So
I'm not either. There's people that I have stopped speaking to, even if it was somebody I was a friend with, associate, even my family. And if they did something for me at one point in time in my life, I still be like, yo, I remember when they did A, B, and C, and they came right on time, and that's what I needed, and I'm thankful to them. I'm not gonna all of a sudden start talking about them bad, negative. I'm not definitely gonna try to purposely put out no stuff about them to make them look a certain way or to destroy something of theirs. Like for what? Even if I'm not talking to you no more, I just keep it moving. You go your way, I go my way. Excuse me. There's no need for me to do all that extra stuff. So it just
exactly.
shows me even more what a trash person she is. I already knew she was trash, but of course she just, kind of put the lid on it, and she could roll herself on down the street. Because and
Oh,
then I didn't get when Angela walks up and she's acting like it's so impossible. That's why I said sometimes Angela's a little slow for me.
yeah.
You
Come
know,
on now, Angela. Now you
and
know better.
then
If she the same person who went and tried to show that Zach hadn't changed, you didn't have
mm-hmm,
to do that. Like, that wasn't necessary. If your friend says, "Hey, this is who I'm with. This is who I," you should just accept that and move the freak
mm-hmm,
on and be like, "Okay, I get that we want what's best for our friends, but at the same time, our friends are adults and they can make their own decisions, and all we can do is be there for them when they need us." Like, that's it. But
oh
like, so
yeah.
yeah, Angela doing this right here. I'm like, Angela, come on. Like, now I know you know better. You've seen what she's done. Her track record speaks for itself.
Like you were saying the other day, I forgot what we was doing a review on, but when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Like it shouldn't be that hard. But I
Exactly.
did appreciate that once she started asking her, was like, look me in my face. She pretty much knew she was lying to her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Savannah.
Hey,
We appreciate you
Savannah.
for
Thank
stopping through. We
you.
thank you for your support.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so yeah, y'all. I don't think we got too much more. We getting closer to the end. So at this point, Fatima and Paul still trying to enjoy their night out.
They gonna have to stop going to this place.
Yes, this place is just a wrap, honey.
This
Find a
place is
new
hot.
place, okay? And they start, Nate and all of them start walking up. Girl, I was not expecting this. I said no.
I was laughing. I know it wasn't supposed to be it was supposed to be a funny moment, but I was laughing. I said, Zach, no, you didn't.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Perfect song though. Perfect song. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Baby, when I tell you I used to run Tony Rich, nobody knows it but me. I was like, oh my God. And he's singing it
It's
all off
now
key.
and going to, and
Yes, that is the jam. Yes. Okay, Zach. He got up there, poured his little soul out. Listen, and Paul did at one point say that was cheesy. When he came over there.
Oh. Yeah, but Fatima, did you see her? It felt like she was gonna break for like a whole second. I said, "Oh, Fatima, don't you do it,
She
girl.
was
Don't
trying to
do
put her
it."
head down. She was trying to drink some champagne. But then when Connie walked up,
That
he kept
part.
going, okay, Connie. Okay. I said, why is that? Why? Like, I knew he was doing this, but in the moment when it happened and everybody's looking and oh my God. And it was like
Mm.
they was booing him at first, and then he like, no, don't boo. Listen, I'm not done.
I'm not
And
a
Connie
singer.
said, that thing be thing.
That was crazy. I said, "So this what you gonna bring?" I said, "If you had a chance, it's over now." Like, cause she didn't come help you. Like, she really made it worse. I was
Right.
like, "Really, girl? Really? That's what?" Okay.
Renee said, I was screaming, no, that, no. Oh, God.
It was too much. It was too much. But the sad part was when we looked up and Fatima was gone. It wasn't sad to me. I was glad she was gone. But for some people, it might have been sad. But I was glad. I was like, yes, thank goodness you left. Woo!
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I felt a little something. I was like, oh, damn, he was pouring his heart out. I'm sorry, y'all. God. He looked up and them chairs was empty.
Tumbling down. It was funny though. I mean, he
Oh,
was really
man.
in it too.
Candy said, oh, God. Hey, when Zach said, my world is just tumbling down a hall.
Hey, Queenie. Hey, Queen.
Oh, God. Hey, Queen. Yes, honey, them chairs was empty. But, however, karma. We back on the damn sofa. Oh, well, no. Actually, that's when the chairs was empty. Sorry, y'all. I can't even hardly see these screenshots. But then we back on the sofa
I'm so sick
again.
of her. Just give this man some already and let this man go ahead and let's see what he working with. Dang it, Fatima, stop. But nah, I get it.
Yeah, she did help because he told him he couldn't perform because of you.
Yeah. I mean, she confirmed that it wasn't
Right.
true, but that's it.
Yes,
But the
Savannah.
way
A
that she
chair
came in
is
there,
still a
man,
chair, even when there's no one sitting there.
mm, I feel like the old Fatima would have tore her little ass apart when she came in
Mm-hmm.
there, no matter what she had to say. But
Mm-hmm.
she was chill. I'm finding a little satisfaction in Fatima making Zach uncomfortable and working for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
That's I'm
exactly what he
laughing when
should
the
do to her.
when she pulled a Houdini. Yes, I'm fine. Yes, 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 yes. Listen, you should always choose yourself, period. Do
Mhm.
what's best for you, no matter who is, it is or what it's pertaining to. You have to. You got to choose your piece and you got to pick your battles. I'm always, since a teenager, remember my aunt saying, like, make a list, and does that bad outweigh the good when you comparing? Think about the good things, think about the bad things. Which list is, long gone? Which list got more, whatever? And honey, if it ain't looking right, there's your answer. You know
And
what
I'm
to
making
do.
a list for Fatima right now in my head,
Right, like
literally.
making a list and checking it twice.
And right now she should run.
So do y'all think that this is because you know how you have sometimes the couples that do the make up to break up and be in and out. But then you have some that is like, all right, I want to have this last one for the road, and then I'm
I
out.
think it's a dream.
You think it's a dream?
Yeah, I think he want her
I
to
kind
come.
of felt like it was a dream, but then I don't know. I'm 50-50.
Yeah, I really think
What
it's a
y'all think
dream.
in the
If it's
comments?
not, I feel if it's not a dream, I now Fatima is feeding a fire, I guess, or fueling a fire that she doesn't need to fuel. If she's going to set boundaries, there needs to be these boundaries no matter what. Like, I don't care, as Connie say, what that fine feeling. I don't care what that thing that thing. I don't care what none of that's happening. You need to keep your boundaries set. And if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make him work for it, then you need to make him work for it. If you're gonna make him put in the work and make him worthy of your love, then that's what you need to do. And going back and sleeping with him sends the wrong message, and it makes him think that. And we all know that Zach equates sex with love. Clearly, and that's just gonna make him think that, oh, okay, as long as I'm putting it down, yeah, you know how it be sometimes. Like, I just feel like it would be the wrong move, but I honestly think that it's a dream. That's what I think, but I don't know.
Okay. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. When it first was happening, I was like, but was this her? I'm just going to come get my last little licking, because you have those times too.
Yeah, people do
Or
that.
is this, him dreaming, wishing that this is what was happening?
I hope it's a dream. I really do. Because if it's not, I'm just gonna be so sad and disappointed. I don't know how I'm gonna
But
feel after
honestly, I could see her, stopping Paul, which this is the second time. Child Paul, listen.
run, Paul, run.
Right. Um, and then leaving Angela house and coming over here. And is it a wham bam thank you, ma'am? Or no, yeah. Monique 69 ways says it's a dream that's black. Is makeup sex? I think it might be. Listen, it could be. It could be that, or it could be a dream. Um, Don says Tyler Perry repetitive makes me feel like it's a dream. Yeah, he does like to do stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. Candy Love says, I ain't gonna hold you. My man up there off key singing in front of people. That's a turn on, but I would have to get the hell up out of there. I got a point to prove, oh Lord. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah.
I don't think,
Um,
I don't think that it's about Zach
exactly.
learning his
Learn his
lesson at the
lesson.
end of
He's
the
not
day.
an
I think
income.
it's about Zach healing and
Yes,
learning to
yes, 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 yes.
forgive
I
himself.
think he
And
learns. Yeah, I agree with that part because most times when you lose something, then that's when you all of a sudden realize how important it was, how good it was, and I want it back, and I don't want to lose you. It's easy to say those things, but we need to actually see him put in the work and put the actions behind it. Because
exactly,
if
because
it's
it shouldn't be about him learning the lesson. Because yeah,
mm-hmm,
she gone. He learned. He know that
mm-hmm,
she will
mm-hmm,
leave. But
mm-hmm.
the problem is that he needs to work on himself, and he needs to, get whatever it is together. He needs to really learn how to forgive, and so that he can move. And it's about forgiving the people who hurt him, and then learning to forgive himself and learning to love himself and feel like he's worthy and feel like he can truly, he's deserving of the love that this woman is trying to give to him. If he never gets that part, then him, losing her is going to keep happening. It's going to be a cycle, because then when something else happens, he's going to retreat to that same behavior instead of doing a different behavior. And then we're going to be in the same cycle again. And then,
Exactly. And honestly, no shade, because I love Tyler Perry. I review his shows and been watching them long before I review them. But that's kind of what he be liking to do: show repetitive behavior and show cycles. And be kind of repeating and repeating. So I wouldn't be too shocked if that's what we get. Like, to be honest, I like I said, I love both of them, and I love seeing them together when they're good, when they're the way that they were when they first got together. That made us like both of them as a character and look forward to seeing them in the show together. And I knew it wasn't gonna be all peaches and sunshine and rainbows, but I also wasn't expecting it to be like all of this either, child. Like, and then we still, gonna just keep going back, and it's gonna be rinse and repeat. Like, how much is gonna be enough? Because I
Exactly.
do want to see him focus on himself and better himself and putting in the work as far as the counseling is going. And in reality, he has to be able to do that whether Fatima's there or not. Yes, of course, if she
That
is there
part.
with him,
That
that's
part.
cute and everything, but he got to put it in for himself, and he needs to, especially if he's still considering like taking custody or wanting to be in his son life, have joint custody, whichever way it's gonna go. He got to be able to like take care of himself and be in a good space to be able to do that too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Yeah.
got Bryce with this deal, and we keep seeing that clip in that commercial where it looked like something funny about to happen with the money. So now he about to have a whole nother situation with that. But child, I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen, y'all. This is a lot. And then if you watch Sisters, I'll be trying not to compare them because I know it's two different universes, two different timelines. This is actually supposed to be before what we saw in Sisters. So, spoiler alert, it pretty much is the same thing because he still is making stupid mistakes with Fatima there too. If anybody didn't know, spoiler alert.
Mm.
So I'm just saying. But
Yeah, yeah, Zach hasn't learned not one single thing. Sorry, not from this one session. If he learned anything, he learned that Fatima will leave him, like she
mhm.
will walk away, and that's why I think that they need
Yes,
to continue
Monique
to let him do
Sakina.
that.
Mhm.
They need to continue to let him feel that. He needs to feel that. Like he really needs to feel that. And then he needs to learn to be by himself. Something about
Yeah,
being by yourself and knowing that you
yeah.
can be by yourself and be good by yourself can make you better to be with someone else. Like how you
Mhm,
gonna be good
mhm.
for her if you can't even be if you are codependent on her
Yes.
to help you get through this time that if we're just keeping it real, this isn't something that she was there during, this isn't something that she's been part of your life all this time while this and so and no, this is your whole entire childhood. Like you need to get that stuff cleaned up because I mean, to
Mhm,
be fair, he bringing in a lot of baggage, like
mhm.
you got to get, and not to mention all the other stuff that's happening in the other universe. So like you got a lot of baggage that got to be cleaned up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's real life too. I listen. I at one time I was a lot younger than what Fatima is right here though. But or even Zach, because in his case, I think he's the one that can't be alone and always want to be with somebody. Some people are like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
okay being by myself. Do I get lonely? Sure, absolutely. Human beings, you're gonna get lonely, but I can be in a relationship. I've had plenty long time relationships, and at one point, I kind of did the one behind the other. Then it was just like, nah, I need to just be with me. And I remember having to tell a friend of mine one time, like, try just chilling by yourself. Next thing you know, she was by herself for like 10 daggone years. But like, try just focusing on you. And then, whoever else come along and whatever happened from there, you see what happens. But I don't think
But
Zach has ever been by himself. He's probably really is codependent like that. Like that's the thing too. But yeah.
yeah, but here's the thing is that I'm just going to respond to this comment really quickly because this is
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I was talking about. The comment says that everybody talking bad about Zach. Nobody's talking bad about
Oh
Zach. We are
no.
speaking
No.
facts about Zach. Zach does have an issue. Zach does
Exactly.
have a problem. Zach is trying to rely on Fatima in order to get through his issues that he needs to work on and
Mm-hmm.
resolve himself first before he can be in a relationship. If we
Yes,
apply
ma'am.
this to real life, nobody wants to be in a relationship where somebody can hurt them that badly, where somebody can
Mm-hmm.
say to them, them and do something to them and tell them continuously that they did the one thing that they asked them not to do, yell at them, scream at them, talk to them in a derogatory way, and then expect them to forgive them with the blink
Mm-hmm.
of an eye, expect them to be able to say, okay, I'm sorry, and then let's just move on. That is not how real life works. That is not how TV life should work. And that's not how a relationship should work. Zach needs to go do the work. When he does the work,
Mm-hmm.
he can come back and he can be a better man for her. And then we can go back to loving Zach. Nobody is talking bad about him. We're talking about how he reacts
Mm-hmm.
to situations. And he
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't react this way to situations. That's not cool. She don't
Yeah.
deserve that.
Yeah. I agree. Listen, I review and watch both shows. For EJ only watches the Zatima, and I actually love Zach. Like I said this, I don't know if you heard the whole review that we was doing.
Yeah.
It's not about that for me. Listen, even in real life, if you're wrong, you're wrong. You could be my mama, you could be my son, my brother, whoever. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. It's plenty of times where I literally have defended Zach and went in on my reviews that I'm doing in sisters when I feel like he's right. But in this particular situation with this, you wrong. You messed up big time. Then you realize that you messed up big time, and you wanted to quote unquote fix it, but you kind of just want to rush her into it and make her feel like she's obligated to accept you saying, "Oh no, I didn't do that," and now we just get back together and we act like nothing didn't happen. And you're saying that you're doing therapy, you know, because of her or to get with her, and that's not what it's supposed to be about. So that's the parts that we're critiquing. I don't have an issue. I want to see Zach win, and I want to see him
Me
do good.
too.
I want to see them win together if they can. But if they can't, then you know, don't. That's just the reality of it. Like, and
Exactly.
I do think
Exactly.
they both love each other, but sometimes you can love somebody, but
And you have to love them from a distance sometime in
yeah,
order to allow
you
them to
gotta
grow
love
and
you
get the
first.
help that they need, because loving someone else and not loving yourself, and we clearly see that Zach doesn't love himself. Zach, we
Mm-hmm.
see where that comes from, true enough, but because we saw where it comes from, we know that there is some deep seated
Mm-hmm.
hurt that's inside of him, and that he doesn't know what it feels like to be loved. Therefore, if you don't know what it feels like to be loved, how can you love yourself
Exactly.
when you've never
Yes.
been shown love, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so how can he accept Fatima's love or anyone else's love at that part? You know what I'm saying? If he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know how to truly love himself, you love yourself,
Exactly.
always put yourself first, and then
Absolutely.
you can be better for the people around you. And that's true.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Monique 69 says Zach must be putting it down. Child, listen, the way they be talking
Girl.
about it, he must
What you
be.
kind of say that thing be She's
One
like that
thing
thing
we
be
have
fine.
learned from Fatima is that you have to show Zach, not tell him. He simply doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. It's like things just fly over his head. So he definitely has to be shown. Um, I loved when Angela asked Fatima, "Are you punishing Zach?" And Fatima says, "No, I'm putting myself first." Yeah, as she
Hmm.
should, as anybody should. I don't care who you are. You know,
Exactly.
you have to
That's what
choose
I would want
you.
for my daughter. I would tell my daughter to put herself first. That's exactly what I would tell my child in a situation like that.
Mhm.
I would be like,
Yes,
put yourself
EJ, I need that shirt, girl. Candy said that's a t-shirt, EJ. Right. We need that shirt. Yeah, y'all. So that was basically the episode. I don't know. We gonna see what's gonna be going down, y'all. We gonna see what is gonna be going down.
to just get over him hurting her because he said it wasn't true. And yeah, and that was the problem right there, Don. You're exactly
Mhm.
right. It was the
Mhm.
expectation that this is just what it's gonna be, because I
Right.
did it now, you know, it's almost like a
Yeah.
game of takesy backsy. You can't take back.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, definitely. Monique say yes. I'm gonna need to see Zach solo dolo. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. because technically he kind of went right from his relationship with that shall remain nameless, okay? So, so I'm just saying.
She said, read her comment about TP. Can you go back up real quick?
um,
Let's see. What? I don't see it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all know I be trying not to touch my mouse because y'all know I will kick myself out of here. It must be way up there because our last thing I see is I was
way
screaming.
up as I
No.
don't even see it.
Hit it and quit it. Hold on. Candy. I don't see it. You might have to retype it, sweetie. But yeah, this was a good episode. It definitely had a lot of good talking points in it for sure.
Candy say, yeah, he left that nut job and got. Listen, Candy, I'm not going. I'm not gonna go there. You're gonna have people in my comments cursing me out, okay? I'm not gonna go there.
Candy, I'm
That
gonna get
thing,
you a t-shirt that says Zarin or Zatima, so that way you can be a conversation starter for you.
that thing be thinking, honey. Mm-mm-mm. Lord of mercy. But yeah, I like these two episodes. It definitely was a lot more serious how we started off than I was expecting. I was like, okay, yeah, we going in, but the way we ended versus how we started.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's
I'm
up. I'm
definitely
ready to see what's
curious.
gonna happen on next week.
Yeah,
Because I
I'm
need to know if
definitely
this was a dream. It was all a dream.
right. I need to know that too.
Yeah,
But
because
I
I did say I'm gonna leave the door open. Maybe she walked out in that door. I don't
right,
know,
he
y'all.
did tell her that. I'm gonna leave the door open.
She said it's above Savannah's super chat, so let's go back.
Let me see. Hi, Dar. I mean, thank you, Daria, for coming through.
Okay,
Candy
there you
Love,
go, right there.
Monique 69, Bobby Ray. I'm trying to go up and also tell everybody. Jacqueline Brillo step through.
It says I can read it. It says
Okay.
TP took that episode from Martin when Billy D.
Oh
When
yeah, I did see that one before. Okay.
Billy D. WMS was on the radio and Gina went out with Michael and Martin came to the restaurant asking questions, started singing "I
Hmm.
Will Always Love You."
Yeah, I remember that episode too.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Hmm. Yeah.
Let me get back down to the bottom.
But Dawn, Monique 69 Ways, Francisco, I definitely appreciate y'all for joining us. Anybody that comes on the replay, let us know replay game you came by. Let us know what you thought about the episode, what you want to see happening. Definitely appreciate all of y'all. I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. Yeah, I do remember that episode. Martin was a damn fool too. Queen
It's
stopped
crazy.
in. Inga stopped in. Definitely appreciate it.
This is all
Yeah. So yeah, that was when yeah, he did. Well, that Tyler actually takes a lot of things sometimes, either from, other movies or TV shows or whatever that inspired him, different people that he watched. So that's not really too surprising. I didn't remember it. I wouldn't have compared it to that right off the top of my head, but as soon as you said that in the comment, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that episode. That
Yeah.
was a good comparison. Definitely probably got inspired from that. Hmm. I can see that. So yeah, you guys, that's what we got. But EJ, tell the people what you got coming up, girl.
Child, I got a lot of behind stuff that's going to be coming up at some point. I got to get the rest of my reviews out because they are extremely behind. That was supposed to be on today's agenda, but
Hmm.
instead I was doing other stuff. Um, And let's see, then we have our movie night, of course. I think
Mm-hmm.
is the movie night on you or is it Moochie? I think it's on you.
Yeah, it's
So I'll
me.
let you talk about that. But other than that, just rinse and repeat. The same stuff we've been doing. We don't have all the Queen's Men anymore, so
Right, I miss it
video
already.
and some other stuff. Gonna be have to find some other stuff to look at, and then of course I think I don't know if I told everybody about my website is back up.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to either www.strictlyopinionated.com or tvjunkiemerch.com. They all go to the same thing. I use both of them, but I just put some new stuff up, and I got inspired by our friend. See that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't call Zach a fuckboy, but but other than that, yeah, that's about all I got going on right now.
Okay.
You have to understand.
Yes, you guys. So for me, basically, we got movie night with the ladies Thursday. It's gonna be myself, EJ, the TV junkie, and Miss Michella reviews, and we gonna be breaking on down the Bobby Brown story. We just actually did
New
New
edition.
Edition, so if you guys haven't got to check that out, check it out. And I didn't even realize I've been seeing Bobby Brown a lot on social media sharing that it's like the 40th anniversary. I think they've been doing like a legacy tour for being
Mm.
over 40 years as far as New Edition, and it made 25 years for his album Bobby. So I gotta try to remember to talk about that because I was like, oh, what a coincidence that they celebrating that, and we've been talking about them lately. So it was just meant to be. But
That's what's up.
right. So we
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
they get it
shining.
right, Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was reading
No, it's okay.
he said, how much for a Zach and Zatima cup? I said, until they get it right. Yeah, no. I had one last year, but that was for a special giveaway. Shout out to my
Mm-hmm.
girl Shari. But yeah. It's gonna have a crack down the middle of it if I do one of them. It's gonna
Right.
have a
That might be
big
a good
line
one to
down there.
have, right? That might be a good one to have. I'm just saying. Yes, but we definitely thank you guys for joining us. And, I guess we'll be back next week the same time for this. And of course, y'all know that we are also, um, myself, Moochie, and EJ, we are doing the shots together, Power Book Force together. Me and EJ is doing the team together, so you'll be seeing a lot of us. Make sure if you are not subscribed to either one of our channels, that if you are so inclined, you do subscribe, hit that like. We definitely appreciate it. And then every Thursday we do movie night with the ladies, and we just bring out all different kind of good, different movies.
Yes.
So that's basically what we got going on. But yeah, y'all, till next time, we gonna get on up out of here.
Yeah.
Toodaloo.